Please allow me to say to the men and women of the United Kingdom that we have let you down very badly indeed. We must all accept blame, and to that extent I have contributed to the situation, I am profoundly sorry. We must do everything we possibly can to regain the trust and confidence of the people.
The Speaker looked up to see who would be first to plunge the dagger.
A point of order, Mr. Prentice.
A motion of no confidence in you, sir, will appear on the order paper tomorrow. Am I right in thinking it will be debated tomorrow and voted upon?
No, order. This is not a point of order.
There are many motions that are put down in the House of Commons in any week, but the only ones that are effective or debatable on the House of Commons floor are those that are taken up by the government or by one of the other party leaders. This motion is waiting for someone to take up its cause. Meanwhile, the Speaker didn't help his case by appearing to be not entirely sure what the correct term was for the motion in front of him. And soon, MPs from all parties were heckling him, the man whose word should be final.
When will members be allowed to choose a new Speaker with the moral authority to clean up Westminster and the legitimacy to lift this House out of the mire?
I know that the Honourable Member has taken... I'll answer. I know the Honourable Gentleman has taken advice. It's not a substantive motion. It's an early day motion. Well, the Honourable Gentleman is telling me it's not. Please give me the credit for having some experience in the chair. It's not a substantive motion, it is an early day motion.
MPs started heckling that the Speaker had it wrong.
Order. Well, let me ask the clerk, because I'm wrong, I'll say so. The clerk.
It's a motion on the remaining orders.
It's a motion on the remaining orders. But pardon?
It can only be proceeded with as a substantive motion.
It's a remaining order on the remaining orders. It can only be proceeded with if it becomes a substantive motion. Order.
The confusion and the challenges to the Speaker's authority did nothing to shore up his standing, and more was to come.
Your early retirement, sir, would help the reputation of the House.
Many out there will not believe that we are serious about the changes that are necessary as long as you are in the chair.
The Daily Telegraph tried to part blame the Speaker for the latest MP in their sights. That's because Labour MP Ben Chapman said it was Commons officials who ultimately worked for the Speaker who told him it was OK to claim interest of at least £15,000 for a non-existent mortgage.
Whatever I've done, I've been entirely open and above board with the authorities in Parliament. I am distressed that this has occurred, and I'm now going in to discuss it with them and see what the situation is.
The Conservative leader, for now, doesn't want to wade into the row over the Speaker, but he did keep up his efforts to stay one draconian step ahead of the Prime Minister in disciplining errant MPs. He used his European Parliament elections launch to spur on any constituency parties that might want to deselect their sitting MP.
If you think your Member of Parliament is not right to stand, there's a simple process for triggering his or her reselection.
The government and Gordon Brown have today effectively given the Speaker a short breathing space because they say they won't allocate government time in the House of Commons for a motion to prize him from office. That's, they say, because at the moment that motion doesn't command sufficient support. A few more scenes of disorder has happened in the House of Commons today, and that could quickly change. Gary Gibbon, Channel 4 News, Westminster.
Well, we're joined now by leading protagonists in the debate swirling around the future of the Speaker, the Conservative backbencher Douglas Carswell, who tabled today's motion of no confidence, and Lord Foulkes, who is a defender of the Speaker. Douglas Carswell, first of all, there was a complete sort of 19th century, almost Shakespearean activity going on about whether your motion existed or not.
Extraordinary scenes. The Speaker at one point didn't seem to understand what the motion consisted of. I've got clarity from the table office, and as I said, it is a substantive motion. information on the future business of the House, and it will appear in the order paper tomorrow.
But in a sense, you're already speaking French. I mean, tabling the table office, the order paper, these are things which your constituents
lots of good,
don't
decent
understand.
people across the political spectrum are coming together saying it's time for change, we've got to get rid of this Speaker, we've got to have a new Speaker and clean up Westminster.
Well, these were volcanic scenes, and you may be very sanguine tonight, George Folks, but the truth of the matter is no Speaker has ever had MPs turn up and say, get out of that chair, go.
I think you in the media are exaggerating it, and I understand why. You want a good story. Douglas has got 18 signatories on his motion. There's one, safety in numbers for cycles, that has 61 signatories on it. Now, I'm
behind that one, so that's why.
So I knew you would be. That's why I chose it, John.
But this is serious. I mean,
of course it's serious.
All right, you tell me when you've heard any member of Parliament stand up and say to the Speaker, in the name of God, go.
Mind you, two of them, Sir Patrick Cormack and now who spoke just before him, Richard Shepherd, were both people who stood against the Speaker and were defeated by him. So they're not actually unbiased. But
that's accusing them of very base motives.
But let's get to the important thing. People around the country want change in the system that has been abused. It's been abused by Tory MPs, by Labour MPs, by Liberals and by SNP. The Speaker tried to clean it up on the 3rd of July last year with a
Well, we've been into all this before.
Yes. And most of the people were away. Most of the members were not even present.
Well,
now he has put forward. What's happening, John, is that all these guilty MPs are projecting their guilt on the Speaker, and they're hoping if he is sacrificed as a sacrificial
So you see him as the fall guy?
He's a scapegoat.
Right.
They want to absolve their own guilt.
Douglas Carswell, your problem surely is that here's a morass of people who've had their feet in the trough, and you're saying, let us defenestrate the Speaker and let us appoint another one. Why should we trust you lot to do it?
The fact
we need a general election to change this lot.
I agree. And if there were a general election in the next few weeks or months, I would be very happy. But the fact is that all MPs have to be held individually accountable for every pound of public money they've spent.
Absolutely.
But the Speaker of the House of Commons not only presided over this system, he spent public money explicitly trying to prevent this information coming out. He cannot be trusted to reform the broken system.
Douglas, you can't have the Speaker leaning over Douglas Hogg's shoulder and saying, you can't spend money on cleaning up your moat, or going on someone else's shoulder and saying, Ming, you can't spend money on an interior designer. The Speaker can't do that. They are individuals, they're grown-up people, they're members of Parliament, they are responsible for their own actions. They can't blame the Speaker.
This surely is the nub of the whole issue. You want to get rid of the Speaker because it surely absolves David Cameron, Gordon Brown, of any need to sack any of you. And the truth of the matter is, Cameron should have sacked Gove, Brown should have sacked Blears, and you want to sack the Speaker.
I disagree. I would like to see those MPs who've abused the system dealt with, thrown out, deselected. But the fact is, you cannot have a Speaker of the House of Commons in control of a system and claiming to reform it when he has presided over this fiasco. He should have made the speech he made today 5 years ago. It's 5 years too late. It's not a reforming agenda. We need a reforming Speaker. We need a new Speaker who can understand that the public out there will not buy what's going on.
But you know the public out there have never heard of the Speaker before. I mean, it's a meaningless business to them.
I agree with you. We don't know when the general election is going to be. Wouldn't it be far better to let the new Parliament choose their own Speaker?
Put that to Mr. Carswell.
Wouldn't it be far better to...
It wouldn't. Under the new amended orders, standing orders 1B, if I could just finish, 1B, there could be a secret ballot of all members, so the new Speaker wouldn't owe their position to the party whips, which is what's got us into this system. If I could finish that.
That misses the point.
We need a new Speaker who owes their position to the authority of the whole House, not to government managers. That would allow the new Speaker to implement reforms that the government and the ministers may not like.
But what about letting the Speaker run for office in the country?
But what Douglas is suggesting...
We need to bring direct democracy to Westminster. The truth is, the building behind us stinks. We need direct democracy and reform to ensure that the people in it are...
That's not an overstatement, is it?
But what Douglas is suggesting is that the existing Parliament, many of whose
members... What about his main statement there, that the House of Commons stinks?
Many of whose members have been discredited, not the House of Commons, but the members have been discredited. He's saying that the present Parliament should elect a Speaker and foist it on the new Parliament. The new Parliament is going to be a substantially changed
One thing
Parliament.
you cannot deny is that the Speaker has opposed reform. He even tried to cover this thing up. He even went to the courts to get the Freedom of Information Act
John,
excluded from covering the Commons.
I've spoken to him about that. He did that on legal advice to test the legislation, so that then each Member of Parliament individually and Parliament collectively would know the legal position. He has a duty of care for individual Members of Parliament as well as for Parliament collectively. That's why he went to the court.
Well, can the Speaker survive? You've only got 18 people out of 670.
I don't believe he can. We've got members from all parties, respected parliamentarians. We've even got front benchers. We've got Liberal Democrats.
You've got 18.
We've got more and more people coming. I think the game is up.
Well, you're close to him.
He's got to go.
You've spoken to him since today?
I haven't spoken to him today. He's been busy. I've been busy today. But I think...
Will he go on? Did you tell him? I mean, Stuart Bell, who's his closest friend in the Commons, told him he should name the date of his departure. What did you say to him?
I think once you, media, and Douglas and other people stop your vendetta against him, and he's able to consider it carefully, he will announce when he's going, and he should be allowed to do that honourably.
Lord Foulkes,
until we have change in Westminster, we won't get politicians accountable to the people. We need reform in Westminster, and that means a new Speaker, and it means a new Speaker now.
Douglas Carswell, Lord Foulkes, thank you very much indeed.